Hello, welcome to Introduction to Java Programming. In this session, we will discuss try with resources. Let's begin. So, as part of exception handling, so we have try with resources also possible from Java 1.7 onward. So, what is this try with resources? The syntax for try with resources will be like this. So, you will have a try, and so far is just like a block, and catch is followed, and then finally is also followed, right? So now you can actually have try with an expression, and this expression is going to have resources in it, and we can have n number of resources. So this syntax is possible from Java 1.7. So try with resource is a try statement that declares one or more resources. So you can declare resource 1 comma resource 2 until so on. Actually, a number of resources can be declared as part of the try statement itself. So what is a resource? The resources are files, like file readers, file writers, then console streams like a scanner, then you have buffer reader, buffer writer kind of things. You have databases, you have network sockets. These are all considered to be resources. If at all in your application you are using them, we have to close them, right? So that's where we are actually using finally block. So finally is block is to close the resources. If your program is getting abnormally terminated, the resources will get closed, right? So that's the main idea. And even if you handle also, the finally is there, finally is going to get executed. Yeah, so finally block to ensure that a resource is closed regardless of whether the try statement completes normally or abruptly. So abruptly means you are not handling it. That time finally block ensures the resource is closed because you are closing the resource in a finally block. That's the purpose of the finally, right? Now what you can do is we can use try with resources statement instead of finally block to close the program resources. So that means when you use try with resources, you can eliminate the need of finally. There is no need of finally if at all you are using try with resources. Since you are declaring them within the try block, when you actually come out of this particular try block, automatically the resources will be closed. Okay, automatically the resources will be closed. That's the idea. So you don't require a separate finally because these resources you have declared in try and you use them here, and you go out of the try, they are going to get closed. That's what try with resources, and we can eliminate the need of finally. And here one important thing to be noted is all the resources you are using here should be auto closable resources. Auto closable is an interface, and if uh, any resource is implementing that auto closable, then when it comes out of the try, automatically it will get closed. No need of writing finally block. So in order to understand this, let's actually go to a program. Yeah, so here the program I have made up, and here I'm using a resource that is a buffer reader. So buffer reader br equal to null, and since buffer reader is from io, so actually java.io.start. Okay, and here try, in the try block, what actually I'm doing is, because I'm using read line, so read line actually throws IO exception. So I kept in try block, and if at all we want to declare, we can do that. So as of now, I'm not declaring it, but I require that actually. So I will tell you why I require that. So buffer reader br equal to null, and in the try block, so I am writing this one actually. So br equal to new buffer reader of new input stream rod of system.in. So this is the resource which we have in the try block. I'm not telling about try with resources. Before the scenario I'm telling. So later we'll convert this with the try with resources. So whenever I have a resource, so that resource is throwing IO exception, so I'm catching it with the try catch. So I would like to take a name. So enter name, and name was read into name using the readline method, and this readline method inherently throws IO exception. That's why I kept it actually in try catch. In fact, I can declare also, but I kept try catch. Now I am printing system.out.println hi, whatever the name is given, we are just saying hi. And try is followed by catch, and we are catching the IO exception. We know. So here it is for IO exception and println e. right? So now try catch, and what is the sequence? Try is there, catch is there, and you will have finally also. This is one scenario, right? Try catch is one scenario. Try catch finally is other scenario. Try with finally is one more scenario. So these scenarios are possible. Now I am writing finally as well because I have a resource and resource need to be closed. So finally, what I'm saying, if br is not equal to null, br dot close, and I'm also saying resource closed, right? And after that, some rest of the code is there, and that is going to get executed, right? So if we handle this, rest of the code is going to get executed. So now let me compile this. If you compile this, you will get an error actually. I will show you why this compile time error is going to come. So Java C try resource demo.java. So this is my file name. Now let's see. I have a problem actually. Unreported exception, IO exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. So even when I use close method, this close method also defines IO exception in it. Whenever I say close, I have to declare it actually. So earlier also we have used, but that time I have declared the exception over here, but I removed throws now here. So what you need to do, whenever you are using beer.close, you have to keep try catch here also. You have to keep try catch here also, right? Otherwise, for this particular close, you can declare here. So now I am declaring throws IO exception. I am declaring here. Otherwise, what is the thing? So here also you need to write try catch. Okay. So what compiler says is either you catch it, unreport exception, either you catch it or declare to be thrown. So here we can catch it. That means we can have this try catch scenario possible, and then the problem is solved. Otherwise, we can declare it. So declaration is easy, right? So you don't want to write throws, then you can have try catch. So now it will be fine. It will be fine now. So let me compile now. It's absolutely fine. And what I say is try with resource demo and then enter name. Let's say I'm saying Java. I'm giving the name as Java, and it just prints hi name. Hi name. What is the name? Java. And so finally always gets executed. Of course, we are handling. This is a checked exception, right? So we have try catch and finally is getting executed, resource closed, and rest of the code is also getting executed. So this is a normal scenario. So nothing new actually. So there is nothing new about try with resources over here. This is how we will write. Whenever you have resources, when you're using them in your try, and then you will write finally block where you will close them. So now what the concept is about try with resources. Okay, whenever you have try with resources, the point is, see here, you can actually have all the resources defined. Okay, of course, I have only one resource. Now I can define this resource over there. I take this BR from here and I will put over here. And this is no longer required to me. This is no longer required to me. So now this is called try with resources. So I have how many resources I have? Only one. BR equal to new buffer reader of new input stream reader of system.in. If you want many, then you can write one more also. File reader FR equal to new file reader of some file. So like that we can write as many as possible, separated with those can be separated with actually colon, semicolons. So you can write as many as possible. Right now I have one. So this is what try with resource. I have one resource. You can have as many number of resources also. Now what happens? What's happening in the code? Let's see. Because I have the br.readline. I have the br.readline available over here. So what I'm doing, I'm asking for the name. I'm reading with readline, and because it's already there in the try, right? So it doesn't give anything actually, any error. And system.out.println name. So now I have a catch. I have a catch. And then finally also. But whenever you write try with resources, your catch is no longer required. Okay. Sorry. Finally is no longer required. So catch should be there, but finally no longer required. Why? Because the resources usually the buffer reader, file reader, all these things are auto closable resources. Since they're defined as part of the try, whenever they come out of the try block, okay, whenever they come out of the try block, so this is try end, right? Whenever they come out of the try block, they will automatically closed. they will get automatically closed. Whether exception happens or not, they will get automatically closed actually. Okay, so you don't require an additional finally for this. Okay, so that's why try with resource have introduced actually to eliminate the finally block, because in the finally block also sometimes you need to catch again, right? Otherwise you are not catching, you have to throw it. So there was kind of some information leak when you actually declare an exception to the JVM, right? So in order to avoid information leaks, we have to keep always try catches. But when you write try catches, you need to keep try catch even in the finally block also, right? And one more problem is garbage collector usually comes and reclaims the objects whenever the object becomes null, but it's not guaranteed. So there can be a chance of some information leakage. So that's why finally with resources has come up. Whenever you come out of the try, automatically it is closed. Automatically it is closed. So you are not going to the finally and executing that stuff actually, right? So that's how it is going to happen. So now I can have try with the resources and without finally, but still my BR is going to get closed actually. So that happens internally. Okay, so there is some. Okay, so it's actually saying the try with resource must be either be a variable declaration or an expression denoting a reference to a final or effectively final variable. Okay, so yeah, what we do is this buffer reader BR we will actually take over here. Okay, so now let's compile this. Buffered reader. Oh, so I have removed, but this I have closed that. Yeah, so that's actually the issue. So now I declared my resource inside the try only. Earlier my declaration was outside because of the previous program. So now it was fine actually. It's compiled. So my buffer reader was declared inside, right? So it should be a local variable to my try. But then only try with resources will work. If you declare from outside, then how it will get closed. So the scope is different, right? So that's why that error. Now when I say try with the resource.demo, so resource demo.class, then class enter name Java and hi Java, rest of the code follows. But internally what happens, whenever you come out of the try, the resources are going to get closed. Okay, that's about try with resource. Okay, so now when you have try with resource, what you can do is, of course, this is about try with resource, nothing much. Try with resource means try has a expression, it will take resources, and these resources will get closed automatically when they come out of the try block. And we don't require a finally block. So to eliminate the finally block, we have try with resources. And of course, there are other reasons like you need not to write try and catch again and again in the finally. And so you should not depend on garbage collector, and directly in the try block itself, objects will get closed. Okay, so those are the other reasons. Now, what else actually, the last point, what else is also possible is, always we are telling actually, when we speak of try, I am always saying try must be followed by a catch statement, right? Try must be followed by a catch statement, or try must be there with a finally, right? But whenever you use with try with resources, even catch is also not mandatory. So now you can have an independent try block also without catch or without finally, but that is only possible with resources. So every time what we are saying, try must be followed by a catch or try must be followed by a finally. That's what we are saying, right? But you can write a try statement without catch and without finally with this try with resources. So this is an important point and interview question. Try with resources without catch or finally is possible. So let's see now actually. Now I have removed this, and yeah, there is no catch also. Let's see whether it will work or not. So let me compile this. Java C, try with resource demo. So compiled successfully. That means it's possible, right? It's compiled successfully. That means it is possible. Enter name. Now I am saying QWERTY, and this QWERTY is getting printed. Rest of the code follows. Right? So far, whatever we discussed, try must be followed by a catch, or try must be followed by a finally. But with the try with resources, you can actually write a program without catch block also. So in the interview, they will ask actually, see, does try requires catch or finally? Mandatorily, we have to say yes. If it's a normal try block, it requires try with resource. Try with resource, you don't require any catch or any finally, and still the program executes. Okay, so that's it. So this is about try with resources. And yeah, so try with resource eliminate the need of a finally, because in the try you will actually declare auto closable resources. When you come out of the try, they will automatically will get closed. Okay, so that's it about try with resources, and with this the exception handling things were done. Thank you.